So, a few weeks ago, in my very first video, you might recall me mentioning a puzzle of which I was not able to solve. Today, that's exactly what we're going to be trying to do. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. I'm the QiYi, and today, I'm going to be trying to solve the QiYi axis cube. Now, of course, it would be quite boring for you to watch me watch a tutorial, so we're gonna do a little bit of a twist, and I'm gonna try to solve it with no help. Now, if you don't know, this idea was inspired by these two YouTubers who, if you don't know, they make really good content, both tutorials and entertainment, which is especially good if you're just getting into cubing, so definitely check them out. Their links will be in the description, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so a good first step here would be to maybe just play around with the cube to see if there are any potential patterns I can notice that could help us get started. So I'll fast forward this part for now, and I'll let you know if I find anything. Okay, so I noticed two things. One is that if you hold it in a certain orientation, you can turn it like a 3x3. So if you hold it from this angle, you have your R layer, your U layer, your F layer, and basically all the layers of a 3x3. And secondly, I kind of have something like this here, which is kind of looks like a cross if this is a center, and these two are edges. So both of these combined are kind of having me think that I could solve this like a 3x3. So let's try finishing this cross here. That piece just went in there, that was nice. And maybe this piece goes in there. Maybe if we flip it, then we can see. I think the key here is to hold it in one consistent orientation so that you can keep track of your edges and overall pieces better. Oh, and look at that, we now have a cross, and like all these edges, they fit perfectly with the center. And so I wonder if this might be simpler than I thought. I don't think I'm going to use CFOP for this. I might just use a normal beginner's method, which, by the way, definitely go check out my tutorial on. The video will be somewhere around there. Maybe this would be a corner. These would be corners, these pieces here. And so this one, I guess, would also go here because the shape matches. So let's do a few RU, R prime, U primes to solve it. Why can't I do the R layer? There we go. We do a sledgehammer. And that's one corner. I guess this would, this is a white part that would go right there. This one, this green triangle, looks like it'll go here. Not like that, but like this maybe? How would it go? Like that, okay, so now we have that corner in. And then this last triangular piece seems like it'll go like this. Like that. Okay, so I think we now have an official first layer done. You see that if we turn this entire layer, it's solved. So we're on a good track so far. So the next step would be to solve the second layer. Okay, so it appears on this puzzle here that the edges aren't necessarily solved. You see that here they don't fit perfectly with their sides. You see here this yellow, well, not yellow, this white red center aligns perfectly with this piece here, but this red green center doesn't. And so a way to fix this, if you look at a square one, if you do an R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2, you see it kind of flips an edge. So maybe we could apply the same concept here. So let's try flipping this one. You have an R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2, but that doesn't work because it's still flipped. So another thing I'm thinking of doing is that if you just move it to the side here, you don't necessarily only have to do double moves. What if we just move this green side here once, until you see how it matches up like that. So now when we put it back, the center is fixed. Now, I think we just do the same thing with the others. So this one here, we bring this up, bring the orange part here, and now that works because these two pieces match. Put it back, you see it matches. And I think the same with this last center here. Shouldn't be too hard. There we go. And now we have all the centers solved. You can just see that they all match. And so now let's try solving these. These would be edges that go in here, right? If that's the first layer, these are corners, then these would be edges. So this piece would go here because it's a trapezoid. You see we have that. And then this piece here would be this green yellow. It looks like, I think that's the only green piece there is. So if we put it in like that, you see it kind of acts as an F12 pair. So there we go. Then we have a red trapezoid, which would also go here. Just like so. And then lastly, this edge here is flipped. So how about we take it out, replace it with something else, and then reinsert it. So like this, basically. Yeah. And there we go. We now have the entire second layer solved. So for that step, we also have to solve the centers. But overall, it's going pretty well, and I'm quite impressed with myself. I never thought I'd make it this far. Okay, so the third step here is gonna just be to solve this last layer. And so the first thing to do would be to solve the edges, which would be these pieces here. A thing I'm gonna maybe try doing is that, remember that this is a corner, this big pyramidal piece, so that I know that if I ever get lost, that everything in relation to it is a corner. And so this is an edge. That's aligned there. This edge is aligned, so it seems like we have two edges across from each other that aren't aligned. And as we can see, so that case would be an F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And so, okay, so now we have these two solved. And now we would just want to swap these two. And yeah, and they're both solved. You see that if you put them like this, that they align. So we can just do a J perm to swap these two edges, and it'll swap these two corners, but that's fine. So we just do a J perm. Oh no, did I mess up? No, I didn't. Okay, that's good. So now, I think we have officially done all of those edges, which is pretty good. So now, I think the next step would be to solve these corners here. And so, if we were to do this using the beginner's method, yeah, these are corners, because that's a corner, I remember that. That corner is in its correct spot, and we should probably swap these corners until they're in their correct spot. So I know to swap 3 corners, you can do an A perm, and the correct A perm, this piece goes there, it moves in this direction. So that'll be this A perm. Am I right? So let's just try. I don't want to mess up on this. So no, I feel like I'm gonna mess up. So hold it like this. I know the algorithm for an A perm. It's that. Then you have a D. Why can't I do a D? Don't tell me this is gonna be the hardest part here. So we want to do an A perm. Like that, I believe. No. For some reason, I don't feel comfortable doing this. So that goes there, so an F. That becomes our D, so no, this isn't working. I don't know why. This isn't working and I don't know why. if I mess up at any point, I'm practically a goner. So, why am I struggling so much to do an A-perm? That piece would go there. Maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Maybe I just need to do it more naturally. If I hold it like that. Oh, okay, I think this is kind of working now. There we go, finally. Now we have all the corners in their correct spot. Now they just have to be switched, or not switched, oriented properly. So we can just use this using the beginner's method. A series of R and D moves. So that goes there. Then we just move on to all the corners until they're solved. Okay, so this is corner number 2. Corner number 3. Oh, okay. I kind of messed up on that, but it's fine. We can just redo it. Okay, and the last corner, this is it. Oh no! This is the one thing I didn't want to happen. I heard there was such a thing as parity, where you have one, in this case it'll be a center that's flipped, but I was really hoping it wouldn't happen. So it looks like we're gonna have to take this systematically. Okay, so I think I kind of figured something out. So one thing, if you notice, on a 3x3, and it's best shown through a logo, a cube with a logo, so if you see here, I might just have to swap these two around, so we'll just do that. And like that, okay. So, keep in mind that the GAN logo here is facing the green side. So it's right side facing the green side. So now let's do a J-perm. You see that the expected pieces, these two edges swap and these two corners swap, but also notice that the center now faces the red side. And now let's do a J-perm one more time. That solves the cube. Everything else is in the same state we had before, except now the GAN logo faces the other side, this blue side. Now let's do the J-perm 2 more times again. And now we see it's solved again, but the GAN logo faces back here. So it appears as though if we do a J-perm 2 times, everything else is solved, but the center gets switched. But the center just rotates 180 degrees. So if we apply the same concept here, so if we do a J-perm, if this is the top layer, you can just do a J-perm 2 times, and that should just swap the center, assuming that it's swapped 80 degrees. So we did 1 J-perm, and then another J-perm. This should work. Oh, phew, and there we go. I suppose my logic was correct. So, and there we go. It looks like I've now solved the QiYi axis cube. And there we have it. I've officially solved the QiYi axis cube. Even though this wasn't a fully polished tutorial, maybe you got something out of it, maybe even you were able to solve your first axis cube as well. Either way, I hope you found this video entertaining, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. It really helps me out a lot. And that's gonna be it. And until the next video, peace.